So I've never done something like this where I'm like talking, you know, to a camera or to a screen. But honestly, recently I've been living with my girlfriend. I've been working at Starbucks. I've been, paying rent. I've been, I'd say, living as an adult for the first time in my life. So, I mean, I know I haven't been through like actual real shit. I haven't had children yet. I'm not married. I, you know, I haven't lost many people apart from like friends I thought were real friends, but aren't real friends. But that's like fine. So I know I haven't been through really real shit, but I feel like it's appropriate for me to make this, seeing as now I've kind of lived like on my own, like with my girlfriend. So I feel like I'm in a position to feel it, like a genuine sense of angst and of anxiety, even though I know it's like a buzzword or something, but I feel a genuine sense of anxiety, not personal, not really about, not in relation to my own life, but about the state of the world that we're living in and where it seems to be going. And it's really getting to me these past few weeks, on top of a few personal issues which I'm not going to talk about, but I'm sure everyone fucking goes through them, which are bad enough. I'm I'm looking at the world we're living in and the world that is being created before our eyes, and it's just it's a bit disheartening, because mainly the main thing that's set this off for me has been the rise of AI generated content on mostly Instagram, which I'm, for people who know me, I'm way too much on Instagram, like far too much. I really need to use it like at least half as much. But I go on Instagram, mainly to look at art, because there's some amazing stuff on it. Some really, really fucking amazing stuff. Gorgeous, stunning artworks made by all sorts of people. And it's amazing, like really. I remember when the second Spider-Man, Beyond the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse came out like 2 years ago. And I remember all of these Instagram accounts run by people who worked on the film. There's like hundreds of people that worked on every little aspect of it, and they're all posting the stuff they made to contribute to it, even stuff that wasn't used in the film. There was like them, and I remember being like, wow, I really love this aspect of the internet, because like you can say whatever you want about the internet, but for me, when it's at its best is when you can just see like all this creativity, like so much creativity and so much, even if it's like disturbing work, for me it's inspiring that someone came up with that with their heads, like it came out of someone's head, and it's awe-inspiring. And like recently you go online, and in my case at least, I mean, maybe the algorithm is like tailoring itself to, maybe I react to it more, so that's why it's being recommended to me, but at least 2 in every 5 illustrations, drawings, artworks I see, I have to fucking squint at it now in order to tell if it's an actual human that made it, and that to me is very disturbing for so many reasons. and I doubt I'll go over all of them right now, but there's, I'll think of the main ones that come to my head. The world is a fucking tough place. It's a hard place. I'm very privileged where I live, and with the people that are in my life, I'm extremely privileged. But maybe this is just me getting older or becoming like a proper adult, as I said. But you get more and more aware of all the shit that happens that people don't, people care about, but it's nothing's being done about it. And I don't want to be like an online activist by saying, oh, I'm better than other people because I actually care about it. But it's just you get what I mean. Like the world is an ugly place, I'd say, most of the time, but that's probably because I'm pessimistic. I am very pessimistic, and I think I have reason to be. But the world it can be fucking horrendous lots of the time, and I can't even imagine how far it goes in how bad it gets. But a big refuge for me, and for many other people who have it way worse, is art. You can look at artworks made by people who have been through the same shit and even worse than you, and it's comforting. Like my dad always points out that I really like depressing films or dark shit that's like about death and loneliness, and I love Synecdoche, New York. I love A Ghost Story. I love I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Big fan of like Charlie Kaufman, and it's comforting to me, this sort of story, because it like tells me that other people have had these thoughts and other people have been through it, and look what they've made something beautiful out of it. So to me, the most like depressing films, as long as there's like as it's like well made and you can tell someone with a voice made it and someone put their heart into it, it's very comforting to me, because it makes me think, oh, if I went through something that bad, I could make, people have made amazing works of art out of it, out of their experience, and it's comforting to me. It's a refuge. It's a form of therapy. It's like a haven. Even, and I'm talking about disturbing art. I'm talking about, I'm a really big fan of the film Skinamarink, or stuff like After Sun, or stuff like, I don't know, stuff that's disturbing, because even that to me is like, a human made it, and it's like, it makes you feel connected to people, because it makes me feel like, oh, we can all share in this, in what's disturbing to us. It is what makes us human, banding together and relating to each other on what scares us, as well as what makes us feel inspired, as well as what makes us feel like we're in love, or as well as what makes us feel upset. It's like, it's literally what art is. It's communication. So keeping that in mind, when every 2 in like 3 or 5 paintings or drawings that I see online, or videos, or like, it's I have to fucking squint my eyes and go, did an actual human make this, or is it empty? Because that's what AI art is to me. It's fucking empty, and it's very, I don't know, like it's very it's very disheartening that the one thing that is the most fucking special, in my opinion, about the human experience, the thing that's the most magical, like, as I said, it can turn suffering into beauty. Art, whether it's fucking poetry, filmmaking, sculpture, writing, painting, illustration, anything. the fact that that can be replicated by an algorithm, a fucking calculator, the fact that something that can come from the deepest fucking depths of the human soul and the human spirit. You know, think of all the fucking David Lynch films. Think of stuff like The Lighthouse. Think of stuff like, you know, stuff that fucking delves deep into the human soul and brings it out and lets us see. Think of the paintings of Francis Bacon. You know, this is an aspect of art that really, like, it makes me feel proud to be human, you know? And if the thought that that can be replicated by something that doesn't suffer, and something that doesn't think, and something that doesn't wonder, and something that doesn't feel, something that doesn't get confused or lost in life, or elated, or really happy to feel surrounded by friends and family, because you know, algorithms don't have all that. They just, you know, it's like paint by numbers. They just blot out a series of pixels that, you know, can be beautiful. I look at stuff on Instagram, on YouTube and stuff that's done by AI, and if I don't know it's done by AI, and I assume it's done by a human, because that's, I'd say, is a natural instinct, I'm like, this is I've never seen anything like this. This is stunning. Sometimes it can be like that. Most of the time, I'd agree that it's what other people call slop, but you know, sometimes it's amazing. And the fact that sometimes it's amazing and that it wasn't even fucking made by a human being, it's heartbreaking to me. It's genuinely fucking heartbreaking. And like, you know, I'm filming this like when I'm kind of clear-headed on it. I wish I was like fucking crying, because, you know, I've cried about this, I'm not gonna lie. I've been brought to tears by this, and you know, maybe that's just me overanalyzing, being over dramatic. You know, I have lots of friends, and this fucking pisses me off, but I have a few friends whose favorite catchphrase seems to be, "It's not that deep, bro," or "It's not that deep." I'm like, or "It's not that serious," and I'm like, I see that online. They probably get it from seeing it online, and that's hideous. I think that's hideous. That potentially the thing that makes us most human, and the thing that's the most special about being human, is like subtly being taken away from us, and subtly being, you know, fucking replaced by stuff that isn't human. It is deep. It's really fucking deep. I don't know if that isn't deep. I don't know what the fuck is, because, you know, what, no matter what you go through in life, no matter what fucking shit makes you feel lost and hurt and like you can't go on, heartbreak, losing someone, grief, living in a fucking war-torn country, being a victim of fucking racism, misogyny, being fucking raped. Imagine all the shit, and I mean shit, like all the shitty stuff a human can go through, and you can turn the suffering eventually. I'm not saying it's the solution, but it helps to be able to transmute that into art, whether it be optimistic art, pessimistic art. As long as it's human art, it can be transformed into something beautiful. And that's being, I hope people realize this, it's being taken away from us. It's being fucking taken away from us. And if that's not deep, I don't know what the fuck is deep. Because it's I don't know. I'm trailing on my thoughts. I don't want to edit any of this, because I don't want to like I want to keep this as, you know, as little artificial as possible, because it seems to be in the theme. But I mean, people are like, people don't realize. I think lots of people do, but I feel like the lay person, the average person, doesn't fucking realize how serious this is. That the thing that is the most precious about us is being cheapened and being usurped. It's being it's it's like being fucking replaced. It's being killed. It's we're killing art, you know. We with all our fucking technology, we're actually fucking killing art. And you can say, oh, AI art, you know, it doesn't suffer and it doesn't do this and that and this. It, you know, believe me, in a year, in half a year, in fucking 5 years, it will be able to replicate anything you can think of. Like anything you can think of, you can put into a prompt, and it's fucking shits out an image, and people are gonna, you know, I have no message, I have no thesis filming this. I'm just filming my thoughts because I want to, and I feel like I need to get this off my chest. Even if no one fucking watches this, I don't care. I just need to like get it out of my head because it's fucking eating me up. You know, we're living in a fucking world that's where humanity is like fucking being killed slowly. You see it online, you see it on Instagram, mainly Instagram. That's pretty, like the only social media I use. But you see, like I saw this. I see lots of reels and posts that are just like fucking racist. They're blatantly fucking racist. There's like they're not even hiding it. Which in a way I respect. I respect more someone who's overtly racist and like hateful of others than someone who like hides it and pretends they give a shit about others, or that they have like empathy towards people that are different to them. But I see lots of fucking posts where it's like a video of 3 Muslim guys in like Amsterdam or something, and they're praying as you do in fucking Islam, and they're praying. Who fucking knows, man? What if they fucking lost? What if they lost like a fucking loved one? What if they lost their fucking job? What if they got news that, you know, their mum has fucking cancer or something? Or, you know, they might be just genuinely down by the state of what's fucking happening in the Middle East, in fucking Gaza, this fucking genocide that's happening. And they're praying, because believe it or not, fucking praying to your gods. I'm not religious, but I fucking get that praying to your God can bring you a fucking sense of peace, which is the least anyone can have, a sense of peace, even if it's brief. They might end praying and go back to like being anxious. I don't know. I'm not Muslim, but they're fucking praying. What's the fucking... And, you know, all the fucking comments, the caption, everyone is saying Europe has fallen. Europe has fallen. No shots fired. Europe is dead. We let these people... Oh, you know, the comment with the Muslim, the crescent moon and the star, and then ANCR, like cancer. I see that everywhere, and it's fucking depressing. It's genuinely depressing how this new like fascism is on the rise. You know, it's like getting worse and worse. I'm not gonna call names, but I know people who are immigrants themselves in the country I live, and at dinner they'll go on and on and on. They'll rant about how we should be dealing with immigrants in our country. And I'm an immigrant too. I'm fucking, you know, I'm white, I'm a guy, I'm I'm very privileged. I know. I fucking know. But you know, I've moved to a country when I was 15 where I didn't speak the language. As a result, I could barely like socialize because I literally didn't have the words to do so. You know, my parents can't speak a word of the fucking language. So, I mean, they can, but like it's very hard. And as a result, they don't have jobs. So we're struggling, you know, my family is struggling. And this person who's an immigrant themselves, you know, they're a bit better off than I am, but sure, you know, fine, whatever. But they're criticizing not immigrants, but they're like saying things where you can tell they're not saying what they really want to say. And at that point, I'm inclined to go, look, just say what you really want to say, because you know you're like dancing around it. But I think, you know, I think this outright thought that's more and more popular, especially with the state of like the fucking United States. Like, look who's in charge. I think, you know, fascism is I think fascism is on the rise with this fucking, you know, multiple genocides. You know, it's in Gaza, but you know, Muslims are being persecuted in China. There's fucking there's Ukraine. You know, there's all this shit. There's all this deporting of immigrants in the US. We're so fucking built on hatred. Our culture is literally fucking built on hatred. And it's so fucking obvious. You know, I think we went through a time from, I don't know, like the 60s till the 2010s where what was really promoted was like acceptance of others and inclusivity and women's rights and, you know, diversity and everything. It's only because it's sold. Like, you know, it's like the meme, it's like the joke. Companies, when Pride Month ends, they fucking instantly get rid of everything that looks gay because they're like, oh fuck man, we made our money, we pandered to them. So, you know, like, it's all fake. Like, it's nothing is like, none of that is real. Nothing you see is real now. Nothing you fucking see is real. I feel like even my friendships, I get sent so many memes that are like, or so many fucking reels that are done by AI, and I just feel like my friends have been like replaced by robots slowly, you know? It's really fucking depressing. And I mean, so anyway, I've been working on an animation film for the last 5 years, I'd say, since I was 15. I haven't been working like consistently on it for that time, but I've been making doodles and sketches for years, and in the past 3 years, I'd say, I've actually started to sit down to animate it scene by scene. And you know, it's like Sisyphean. It's like rolling a fucking massive endless boulder up an endless hill. And it's hard, you know, it's fucking tedious, it's boring, it's hard, and you have to do it. You have to sit down for hours at a time and draw and draw and draw, drawing after drawing, frame after frame, so that at the end of like a week, you can have a 5-second long shot of a little flame doing that. And you have to draw the backgrounds and do the sound effects and the music if you're not using AI. And you know, that's fine. It's hard, but it's fulfilling. It's genuinely fulfilling, even if it's hard, and even if the results aren't exactly what you want, because that's what art used to be like. You used to not be able to just make exactly everything you want, exactly how you like it, which is what used to be like special about it. But I'm working on it, and it won't be done for like another year, I'd say, because it's taking for fucking ever. And by that time, you know, who knows how far AI will be along. I'm sure by the time I release it, someone else will just be able to type in make me an animation in the style of this and this and this and this, and make it this long, make it have this sort of humor, make it have this sort of aesthetic, and it will be made in a few seconds. And I've worked on this for fucking years, and I've poured my soul into it. I've gone through shit. I've suffered pain, emotional pain, stress, as well as wonder, ambition, love, friendship, kinship. I've experienced all these things, and I pour it into my animation. I pour it into my work. I put it in. I place it into, I pour it into my work. Literally, like my blood, sweat and tears, I put into my work, I put into my animation. And to know that it will just be able to be replicated in a second, it's soul destroying, It's genuinely soul destroying. And I know that I know that I'll feel proud about it, and I'll know that I made it myself, and no one will be able to take that away from me, But just the fact that someone watching it maybe won't be able to tell, if it was made by a human being or not. And it's disturbing, man. It's very fucking disturbing. It's extremely disturbing. And I don't know how to, I don't know what to think of it. I really don't. I really fucking don't know what to think of it. It's scary, It's pretty much, it's terrifying. So I guess I'm gonna finish it anyway. I'm not gonna stop making it now. I'm more than halfway done, and people seem to like it from the bits I showed to people. But I really hope it's not like a dying thing. People spending years working on one project and putting their soul into it. I really hope, and I think people will still do that, but it's, we live in a fucking vacuous, empty fucking culture, I think, and I think there's no wonder why it's crumbling. People say the West is falling because of immigrants, because of trans people, because of fucking vegans, because of people with a different skin color to their own. I don't think for a second that's what's causing the West to fucking crumble. I think it's the fucking individualistic, superficial, hate-filled philosophy it's built on. It's built on a philosophy of fucking hatred. And I think and superiority. It's empty, It's empty. Only a fucking empty culture would push for development of AI art, Only a fucking sick culture would do that, and I think it's no wonder why it's fucking crumbling. I don't know what else to say, but